Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing? We're back again with another video on Eagle Talks Football. Hope you guys are all doing very, very well. And on today's show, we are sponsored once again by SOFASCORE. So I want to let you guys know a little bit about SOFASCORE. SOFASCORE is the only football app that you will need to find all your live scores, everything to do with AFCON, Premier League, Champions League, whatever league of football you like. And even if you want to watch NFL, NBA, all on one app, where you can find live scores, statistics, rankings, standings, everything else. That is the one-stop shop for everything football and sports related. So please do check out SofaScore. The link is in the description to download the app. And of course, every download helps my channel and supports the channel massively. So please do go do that right now. But before we go any further, today we're going to be talking to Hussam, we're going to be talking to Vader, and we're going to be talking to none other than Jay. The reason why we're going to be talking to the three of them is because there's some stuff going on. Apparently, Gary Neville thinks that Tottenham are better than Arsenal and Liverpool. Make that make sense. And then you also have a situation where Manchester City look to be back, but could they be stopped by a trial? Their trial date is set, but has not been announced when that has been set. So we're going to have to wait and see about that. Also, Arsenal. Some people are saying we're not even in the title race. Some people are just saying Arsenal are in the top 4 race. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you guys agree with those people? Personally, for me, I think we beat Crystal Palace. We're back up the we're shooting back up the table, and people are going to be saying that they overreacted a little bit on that whole Arsenal out of the title race chat. But guess what? It's going to be extremely difficult. And can Liverpool win the league? Really and truly, can Liverpool win the league? We need to get into this. That's why we have Hussam in the building to talk about Liverpool. That's why we're here to talk about Arsenal. We're also here to talk about Man City and thing. And of course, Ivan Toney is back this weekend first for Brentford. He's going to be back. We're going to get into Ivan Toney, speaking about Ivan Toney also. And there is no Chelsea rep today. But are Chelsea the most informed team in the league? How the hell did that happen? Came out of nowhere. But yeah, let's get into it. We got Vader in the building. We got Jay in the house. And Hussam's going to be joining us any moment now. Look at Vader jumping in the stream like a super villain. Crazy.
What's good?
Guys, how you guys doing? How's everyone feeling today?
I'm good. It's been a long day as per usual, but you might not have seen me if we lost to Man United. Do you know what I mean? I might have had something came up in the diary, gal.
Internet problem.
Outlook.
Internet issues, huh, Jay?
You know what the Wi-Fi is like. UK Wi-Fi. We needed that Jeremy Corbyn. We needed that Jeremy Corbyn free Wi-Fi. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a bit shady.
I don't know what you mean, but hey, let's get straight into it. People in the comment section, do me a favor, hit that like button as we get straight into the video. People are talking about Barcelona want Mikel Arteta. He's not going nowhere, guys. He's not going nowhere. I guess.
Do they really?
Yeah, Barcelona apparently are looking at Mikel Arteta as the potential replacement for Xavi. If this is the first thing you want to start with,
can we also add Henderson? Henderson going to Ajax into this because if we're not going to add it, I'll just touch on it really briefly because I was just talking to my boys about it and we were like, hold on, Henderson deferred his wages. Have you seen that report that's just come out? Yeah. So Henderson deferred his wages, right? So because of the tax in the UK, he didn't want to be taxed, so he deferred it for 6 months, right? Okay, 6 months plus. So Henderson hasn't received a penny.
Smart accounting.
Wages yet, right? Adding to that, right? Henderson now is going to Ajax on a lower contract than a considerably lower contract than he was on at Liverpool.
Okay.
So in 6 months, all Henderson has got out of this is unhappiness. Yeah.
No, Jay, don't do that. I'm not gonna let you do that.
No, listen. I'm not projecting onto the Saudi league. All I'm saying from his personal point of view, yeah.
I disagree.
He lost a lot of respect from his fan base. Whether or not you agree with their positioning as to why he lost their respect, he did lose the respect of the fan base. He lost the captaincy of Liverpool Football Club. Yeah. He missed out on this new version that they're pulling out. He didn't receive any of the money of his lucrative contract.
You're doing too much.
He still will receive that money though.
Okay, let me speak on this. Listen, you're being a little too.
You think so?
Yeah, it's a little too black and white right now. You're being a little too harsh.
Give me some shades of gray, Vader.
Let me break it down, because Jordan Henderson, arguably the second greatest captain for Liverpool. Arguably. Obviously, the awards that he's gotten, the honors that he's had, the wins that he's been a part of. Listen, this man deferred, to your point, deferred payment, smart accounting. I know a little bit about that. And he's also taken a pay cut to, again, play the game that he loves. You looked at it as unhappiness. I'm looking at it as a man continuing to play some football because that's what he loves. Mm-hmm. He deferred the payment. He doesn't need the cash, but he loves the game. So you're being a little too harsh on Liverpool's second greatest captain, man. Like, come on.
He just wants to come back to Europe. He just wants to come back to Europe. The whole situation, I don't know. Is Steven Gerrard still the captain of the manager of the club that he went to?
I mean, he is for now. For now, he is.
Hey,
I think Jay was being harsh. I think Jay, and he was going to lose the captaincy anyways. Like, Klopp was doing his whatever 2.0 version. Jordan Henderson.
So you don't think he would have been a part of it anyway?
I think they actually missed his leadership, not necessarily as a starter, but I think on the bench as.
I
think they do. I think they do.
If Hussam was here right now, he'd tell you they don't miss.
Yeah, he'd hate on Henderson, but leadership. I'm not talking about what he would do on the pitch. I'm talking about the leadership. I'm talking about what he would mean in that locker room, what he would mean for those young players. This 2.0 that has all these young players coming through, I think Jordan Henderson would be a good influence on that. He went through it himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got a Liverpool fan here saying Jordan Henderson can hold that running back to Europe with his.
Wow! Look how they treat their captains, man. Crazy.
Hey, he left. They have no allegiance to him anymore. He's gone.
No, they don't.
He's gone. But quickly, just talking about Arteta to Barcelona. Basically, in the case that Xavi was to get sacked, Barcelona are looking at Mikel Arteta as a potential replacement, and Barcelona want Mikel Arteta. I don't think that's going to ever happen. I think Mikel Arteta is invested at Arsenal right now, and he's going to stay, even if a Barcelona was to come for him. I know it's his former academy and everything, but the reality situation is, I don't think he would leave.
Use the word ever. You got to be careful.
No. I don't think he would leave at this moment in time. Say if we won the Premier League last year. Maybe he would have.
Is the question to ask? I don't think it's would he leave. The question is, could Barcelona take him? As in the Barcelona project, where they're at, what they've got, the attractiveness of the league, versus Arsenal's project, where he's at. He has the
comparing projects is
comparing. Like, I don't think Barcelona's project's better than Arsenal's at all. Plus. This is a Spaniard that lived in Scotland, Everton, Merseyside. Who says that he wants to live in Spain over living in the UK?
Jay, Arteta's agent, to be worth what he's being paid for, is going to have to present both opportunities.
Hey, listen, Vader, you just crept onto something great there. Arteta's agent, wasn't I hearing a few weeks ago? Arteta new contract. Doesn't Arteta's contract come to an end the end of next season?
You gotta talk to us. How many more months you got?
Now all of a sudden, I'm hearing Barcelona want him. Arteta's got a contract coming up. Now Barcelona want him.
Agent plant story. I hear you.
He has 2 years remaining on his contract come the end of this season.
2 years after this?
Yeah.
I think it's one after this.
No. I think it's 2. Because don't forget, he got his new contract when we bought a top 4. That would be officially 2 years ago from when it happened. So
but it could have been like an extension type, not necessarily a brand new 5-year.
No, he got a new 4-year contract on top of what he so it was 4 years from that date. So that's why a lot of people were like upset in the sense that why is this happening? You know what I mean? But yeah, I get why everyone out there. What Egal gets cooked everywhere he goes. I don't get cooked. We have conversations. Hold on.
No one's cooking.
I just saw Arteta's current contract with Arsenal is set to expire in 18 months' time.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's 2 years.
No, that's what I said.
18 months means a year and a half.
Yeah, so
he's got half of the
end
season.
of next season.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understood it that. Yeah.
So he's got a year left.
Yeah. His agent's doing what he needs to do. His agent's planting these stories.
Regardless, I think they're going to renew his. They're going to renew his contract at the end of the season if things go well. If things don't go well, then he could potentially be moved on, and then he can end up at Barcelona. But either way,
that's a real interesting one for me, Gal. I know we're not talking about Arsenal, but if Arteta was to finish, say, third and win nothing, what kind of contract would you be wanting to offer him in that instance?
When you say third, you mean like what Gary Neville just said, like third behind Spurs?
Yeah, behind Liverpool, say. Not behind Spurs, behind Liverpool.
Behind Liverpool? Okay.
I don't think there's a situation where we finish third. At this moment,
I think it's very plausible you could finish behind Liverpool. It's not like me saying you're going to finish behind Aston Villa. It's very plausible.
I'm saying if the club sees Mikel Arteta in third place and say we get knocked out by Porto, those are sackable offenses in my opinion.
No, okay, let's say you get knocked out by Bayern Munich in a quarterfinal and you still finish third.
Sorry? Quarterfinal of the Champions League and we finish third. I still think the third place finish would be looked at as regression. And blinkers would go off. People would look at him differently.
But you've only got one. So what kind of contract would you offer him in that instance?
I wouldn't offer him a new contract.
No, that's harsh.
One second. Gal, I have honestly never heard you speak with that level of certainty and bluntness against Arteta in a long time.
I saw him calculating. I saw him doing the calculus in his head. He's like, "Nah, I'm sacking him." Explain.
It's a thing. It's a thing where it's a situation where we now need to deliver. It's getting to a certain point where Mikel Arteta and the club needs to start seeing more silverware, more opportunities to move forward. And if it's a situation where we come to the end of the season and the club clearly have regressed and we have not found any solutions, then we can have a conversation around the manager. And I think that's one of the main reasons why the situation is as it is right now. If they were openly going to just give him a new contract and sign a bunch of players in January and everything was going to be fine, they would probably give him a new deal come the end of the season when things look a little bit better. Right now, things look bleak because we just dropped points consecutive games back to back to back. But I still don't think we're out of the title race. I still think to say Arsenal are in a top 4 race instead of a title race, which a lot of people are now saying, that's where I think people are taking a little bit too far. But yeah, talk about the manager. I think the conversation around the manager is still going to stay open. And I'm not saying I want him sacked or anything like that, but I have my questions and I have my concerns, as anybody would, seeing us consistently drop out of cup competitions, consistently have collapses and lose points in clusters. Now, everyone can say they love the manager. Everyone can say they back the process and they back the team, but you can still have your concerns and questions. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
That's fair.
Anyways, let's get into Arsenal versus Crystal Palace and this mini crisis. Do you guys think Arsenal in a crisis? Because everyone, the way everyone's talking, you'd think we're like 17 points behind the league, and we're like.
See, the thing is that what people will do is they will look at the level that you were at last season. They will add £200 million spend, and they will expect X. Obviously, we all know football's not linear, but from the concerns that people might have had about Arsenal have been here all season. But you guys started talking about field tilt. Never heard the term field tilt before Arsenal fans got a hold of it this season. Yeah, now it's field tilt this, field tilt that. You're not creating many chances. Yeah, but look at the field tilt. And so I was watching this, and I was like, your problem is the chance creation in open play, and what you're doing with those players. You're almost too. When you produce a team and you're so systemized, when it goes well, it's beautiful. Looks like these players, like, are brothers. When it goes badly, it looks overproduced You struggle to get shots off. Players struggle to really optimize what you're doing. I think not crisis, just you're in a situation where you need good solutions quickly. And you need a solution that's going to carry you for the next X number of weeks. You don't want to be constantly changing to try and win games. You want, like, okay, this is the system we're using for the next 4 or 5 weeks, and we're going to win X number of games. That's the way I see it.
What are you saying, Vader?
Listen, we all cook differently. Oh, my phone. Sorry, double duty. We all cook differently. We all bake. We all barbecue differently. The thing that I see with Arsenal is, unfortunately, they've been baking a souffle. And if any of you that are bakers happen to know what a souffle is, it's a delicate process. And I think if you're not gentle, if you're not patient, if you don't give it time and you rush things, that souffle will just collapse. It'll break away. And I want to say that the patience and the time to be delicate with this team has not been there with the fan base. And this souffle has crumbled. The fan base are in panic mode because it's fallen apart. But it's early. You can try and make another one. It's midway through the season. You can attempt to try to right the ship. Arteta is trying to figure this out. I've said, I agree with you. He's generational. He's young. It's his first managerial job. So he's going to mess up. Halfway to this point, he's messed up. Havertz has not been that guy. Rotation of the squad has not been right. Saka, Martinelli, those guys haven't been dropped at appropriate times to just have a good flow to the team. Let the man make his mistakes. The fan base are wilding out right now. I don't think it's panic. Okay, you're going to look at me, City fan. Why would you say no? There's nothing to panic about. But I've seen how successful you guys were last year. I saw when everything, like Jay mentioned, when everything is flowing, it looks like you're unbeatable. You can get that form again, but you're not going to get that form again if half the fan base are already Arteta out. You guys need to calm down and let him make the mistakes and get it right or not get it right. But I don't think it's panic mode. Like, you win another game, all's forgotten, man. There's been so much. You win another game, all is forgotten. Especially, you guys winning versus your other London teams.
You made excellent points. But just the last bit, I just want to be like, already forgotten. They are getting away a bit scot-free with that Liverpool loss. Do you know what I mean? Out the cup at home, no Salah. That's pretty.
Listen, it's unacceptable because they're exiting out of their cup. I look at the FA and that's Arsenal's cup. The way the Carabao. I look at the Carabao as mine. I look at the FA as Arsenal's. The way they crashed out of that versus Liverpool. And again, like how they were playing against me last season and couldn't get that win, that's how I saw them have to play against Liverpool this season. They didn't get it, but again,
different circumstances.
Very. Obviously, context is different. But this season in particular, the reason why I'm saying it's not panic mode is because every Arsenal fan would care less, would care nothing for the FA. I know that they lost it, but they would say, I want the Prem or I want the champs. So the fact that they're not in it...
You're remotely wrong because it's a situation where we have a better squad. We should be seeing more competition across all competitions. It should not be a situation where, bro, we're only left in the Premier League and the Champions League, and we're.
But that's what your fan base wanted at the beginning of the season. If we said,
I hear you, but we wanted more.
What's more? You didn't want that trophy
in the cups to get knocked out early in the League Cup and to get knocked out in the first round versus Liverpool.
Okay, but it's Liverpool.
Come on.
But the thing is, it's so funny.
No Mo Salah.
Jay, one sec.
Let me just say that I know we're the little bros to Arsenal, yeah. But it's funny the way Igal's talk. No, I'm just saying it's funny how we're talking because how you talk now, Igal, is exactly how I used to talk as a Spurs fan under Poch. The same. When we go out of the cup in the fourth round, I'd be like, at least we're challenging for the league and we're going to really put pressure on Leicester and we're really going to put pressure on Chelsea. And what we ended up doing is we ended up not winning trophies at the appropriate time with a squad of players that should have been winning trophies. And I get thoughts that, does Arsenal realize that they are missing their moment as we speak? Like, as in, like,
No.
Spurs, like you're gonna be good for the next few years, but Liverpool will be right back there. If United can get their stuff together, they'll be up there. Spurs are trying to come. City will always be there. This is your window while those other teams are building and sorting themselves out. And you know,
this is what I'm saying. They can get back there.
Let me just go to this comment. This comment saying Arsenal fans that genuinely believe that they're still in a title race need their brains checked.
See, no, that's just an angry Liverpool fan. Like, that's you're a few points off. Like, let's relax here.
Could we not have said this? Could we not have said this when Liverpool were like a couple points off Arsenal and City were struggling too?
Yeah.
Like, I just think you need to realize context. You play Chelsea next, then you play us. Chelsea is a team that historically take points off Liverpool, and Arsenal at home last year we beat you. So say hypothetically they lose to Chelsea or they draw against Chelsea and they lose to us or they draw against us.
Are they playing you with no Mo Salah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And no Trent their next couple games. So this is why I wanted Hussam here, because I feel like not all Liverpool fans carry the same level of confidence that Arsenal are going to fall off like this guy does. And I don't think all Arsenal fans believe that Arsenal are done and out of this title race. No. Because, yes, we dropped points versus Fulham. Yes, we dropped points versus West Ham. Yes, we got knocked out of the cup. But it doesn't...
Where are you going with this?
You got to make that chocolate souffle again.
I get that these things have happened. But But if you when you face this type of adversity, just fold and say, you know what, that's it. It's not our season. Yeah. That's not the mentality that ever means you're going to win anything.
Facts.
But what about certain decisions that were made last season to the short term that may actually have impacted you in the long term? And what I mean by that is, so last season you bought Zinchenko and Trossard. Yeah, and you could have bought Lisandro and Mudryk. Would have cost you more money, but those two names were definitely on the table for both of you. Yeah. Now, in a season, you want to replace. No, just hear me out, Veta. You want to replace.
This is nasty, man. This is nasty.
I know, but you know, I'm landing it. You want to replace Trossard and Zinchenko, so you got that season out of them.
Who's replacing Trossard?
Do you really think next season, going into next season, that you don't want to upgrade in that position?
I think you're looking at the wrong player.
I think I'm looking at it from the point of view of, I don't know what Martinelli's output is going to be next season, and I cannot gamble that he's going to revert back to last season. What about this season? So I have to buy a top winger.
I think this Arsenal team doesn't need a winger. This Arsenal team needs a striker. That's what we need. So when we're talking about players who are going to be leaving this club to then bring in new players, I'm looking at Eddie Nketiah. I'm looking at Cedric's. I'm looking at friggin' El Nenis, getting rid of those guys.
Smith Rowe.
Even Smith Rowe. I'm not shying away. I'm not shying away from looking at selling Smith Rowe, because in my opinion, at this moment in time, Mikel Arteta doesn't utilize him enough. His injuries have made it so he's not as useful as he was prior, and he's not gotten back to his best yet. Maybe he can get back to his best, but we're not in a situation where we can wait and patiently wait for players to get back to where they were supposed to be. So at this moment in time, getting back to the main point, I believe Arsenal are still in this race.
Of course.
As long as City just won their game against Newcastle. We were level on points with them. Yes, they have a game in hand, but of course, we're still not that far away. When it comes to Liverpool, they play against Bournemouth. They're probably going to beat Bournemouth and keep their 5-point lead. But I still believe we need to beat Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is now a must-win game. If we lose to Crystal Palace, I'm not going to say, oh, that's it, it's done. But that just shows that we don't have what it takes to be consistent enough to win this year. If we drop more points off the back of being fully rested after back of having 13, 20 days since our last Premier League game.
Will you give Arteta some of the acceptable outs? An injured Jesus, an injured, not available Timber for the season. Like, will you give him the, you know what? Yeah, I can see why things have kind of fallen off, and there hasn't been any additional investment from the owners. If that happens in January,
bro, January we're not signing nobody, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You won't sell to, like, you won't even put some players on loan to possibly.
No, we're not signing any players in January.
Okay, but will you seek a loan player possibly? Like, are you looking to strengthen in January?
Potentially, but bro, we're not linked to no one. Who's Arsenal linked to sign?
Well, then I think if that's the case, if there's no strengthening in January, I think that buys Arteta some time. I think that's like, listen, I got to work with what I have, so. How much are you going to hold this against me if I happen to lose to Manchester City, Pep, the best manager in the world, and I happen to lose to Liverpool, arguably Klopp, second, third best manager in the world?
No, but we're not going to look at it from that perspective. We're going to look at it the perspective that last season we were one of the best teams in this league, and the following year we weren't able to sustain that to show that.
Why am I the one? No, but. Igal, why am I the one reminding you you're playing this season with no Partey? You're playing this season with no Timber.
Because even without Partey, don't forget that 3 games ago we were top of this league.
Yeah. You're going to take losses. That's normal.
Partey not being there doesn't excuse us losing to Aston Villa away. Doesn't excuse us losing to Fulham away. Doesn't excuse us losing to West Ham.
Yes, it does. Listen, if I can lose to Aston Villa, Arsenal can lose to Aston Villa. Like, that's how the league's going to go. I think you guys are, some of you, not you in particular, like just how you're speaking for some of the fan base, I think is a little too harsh to be like, Arteta should have been undefeated for this spell.
I think the team that was put out there on the day is good enough to beat the other team on the other side. I think if we play 10 times out of 10, we probably come out of there with more wins than losses in those kind of scenarios. Okay. But with that day, so decisions went wrong. Individual players did not perform on their level, and it's happened too consistently. We've had a cluster of losses, which brought this negativity or brought this shadow of doom and gloom around Arsenal, and that's why this game against Crystal Palace is now all of a sudden must win.
I agree, must win.
I felt like the game against Fulham was must win, and we lost that game. So at this moment in time, if we lose to Crystal Palace, a lot of people are going to just pack it in and say focus on the Champions League.
I'll be tuned in. If you guys lose.
No, but what do you believe is going to happen?
I think you guys are winning. Honestly, I think the amount of time that's happened between games, I think even we know managers and players hear what's happening in the media. I think Arteta is going to be like, listen, let me fix up. Let me right the ship here. Let me maybe simplify what I want to do and get this result. Like, again, games against other London teams, you guys are up for it. I think emotionally it was a little off kilter with you guys playing West Ham. But other than that, you guys deal with your London teams typically. So I think you get the result. Whether it's going to be, carpet style football, I don't know. But I think versus Crystal Palace, the players that you have, everything that's been talked about, you guys get that win. And then things kind of quiet down and let Arteta fix things up. You guys are in the title race.
Jay, what are you saying?
Jay's multitasking here. You probably put us on mute as well.
No, sir. Yeah, he's gone into a full thing. What are people saying in the comment section? Let's see. Arteta is fixing nothing. The guy's getting fed around man's.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The meat thing. I think people need to chill. Not that.
Nah, they don't need to chill. It was wrong, and they're gonna run with that, which they should.
What's wrong? The man literally went to a restaurant and he was eating meat.
Yo, Igal, relax.
Bro,
No, it's how you eat, my man. Pause. Listen, if he was cutting up his own meal and enjoying it himself, cool. But that clip, yo, the whole sequence, nah, man, your manager can't move like that.
Listen, your manager was doing it a couple years ago. when he first joined Man City. I think the whole thing is ridiculous. But yo, Hussam, what's good, bro? Just
Yo, guys, sorry I'm late. My tribe just came into the house, so I had to go say hi, or I would have been considered disrespectful. So I just had to go speak.
Hey, family first.
Sam has been a second. I hope you're well. How are you? Good.
Big up Jay. Big up to you.
Big up.
Big up Hussam for jumping on. Also, guys, just to get you caught up, Hussam, where we're talking about right now is, are Arsenal still in the title race, or is it a top 4 race at this point? What do you think, bro?
Are Arsenal in the title race? Yes, 100% Arsenal in the title race. We cannot have. I'm not sending shots. I'm just being real here. We cannot have Arsenal mindset from last season where we get too ahead of ourselves and we just think we're going to win or we're going to lose, or nothing's lost in January. That's the thing. So, Arsenal are just like 3, 4, 5 points behind. So it just takes beating City, beating Liverpool, and suddenly you're top of the league. So it's not that difficult, to be back top of the league even again. I don't think no one's bottled anything yet. We're literally in January. There's still about 20 games of football left to be played. That's 60 points up for grabs for more of the teams. So nothing is done yet, to be honest with you. I don't think anything is done. I don't think the league title is done. I don't think the league title is wrapped up. Even City fans will tell you this. And everything can change in one day. If you wake up tomorrow and Rodri's out to the end of the season, everyone's like, KDB's out again. Salah's out, Saka's out, Saliba's out. You don't know what happens in football. So, no, of course, nothing is over yet. 100% nothing is over yet.
Did you guys hear Gary Neville said Spurs are the second, are going to finish second ahead of Man City?
Hey, Sam, you've not been on X/Twitter for a while. I appreciate it. I've been catching some of the shows, still high quality as ever. You've been a bit nicer about us. You've been a little bit nicer about us of late, which I do appreciate. The mate propaganda.
I needed to beat City, that's why.
Exactly. No, word to Jose Mourinho. Little horse, tiny horse, seahorse. Do you know what I mean? No, I don't mean like I mean like little tiny seahorse in your palm. Yeah, that's us. Don't worry about us. Yeah, you can't win the league with Werner on the wing. Not yet, anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, will we have a big say in where the title goes, though? Absolutely, huge say.
Do you think Spurs are going to finish above Arsenal or Liverpool?
I don't think we'll finish above Liverpool, because I played you and I played Liverpool, I played Arsenal, and Liverpool was spicy even with 10 men. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you play a team 11v11, you're like, oh shit, these guys are better than I thought they were. That was my exact reaction when we played Liverpool. When we played Arsenal, I was like, nah, we can do these. Do you know what I mean? So I think Liverpool have got more firepower. But
then when you played Man City, what did you think?
Oh, they moved to us. they moved to us. Our best player was Crossbar. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, man of the match. Like, that first 45 minutes, it was emotional. So, like, I just think Arsenal, Liverpool, City, they're all better than us. They're all slightly further along. They're more stable. I think they're more stable than Spurs at the moment. I think in one-off games, almost 50-50 to an extent. I think we can go at anybody in a one-off game. But I think just these teams have a little bit more know-how, a little bit more stability. So I would sit us at fourth. I see us having we want to be the best of the rest, at least this season. Like, you three do what you're trying to do for the title. We're gonna fight off the likes of Villa and Newcastle and United to claim that fourth spot. So then next season, a rising tide lifts all boats. Our expectations have to rise. We can't be good old Tottenham praising them for, because Liverpool.
What would your expectations rise?
Liverpool drew with United, and they were widely criticised. Spurs drew with United, and it was a performance. So I don't mind being little bro a little bit, because it's like tickling my belly and rubbing my head. I enjoy it to an extent. Do you know what I mean? I enjoy it now. Do you know what I mean? But when I'm a big boy, you can't be tickling my stomach and rubbing my head. Do you know what I mean? So,
I don't get the reference, but long story short,
you never had your belly tickled? What do you mean you don't get the
No,
reference?
that's what I'm trying to say.
No. Are we little kids? Like, I'll do that with my son, but like, I don't know about.
Yeah,
we-
so your
well,
son is Tottenham
That's the whole
Hotspur,
point
basically.
because we're little. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
the son that you tickle his belly, that's Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah,
That's what he's
exactly.
saying.
Okay. So he's basically saying we're the little ones.
Exactly,
So expectations are very low. So Tottenham, I think everyone just knows Gary Neville at this point. He just chats shit to say crazy
He does.
statements. I don't think he believes that Tottenham are going to finish second, and I don't think anybody does. But Tottenham are on level on points with Arsenal. So if Arsenal in the title race, Tottenham are not in it because they've just not shown that level of consistency. Am I right?
No, but this is the same thing people say about Aston Villa. Like, is Aston Villa going to win the league just because they're here? Like, we also have to look at context. Context matters in football, you guys. Not everyone who's like top 3, top 4 in January ends up winning the league. 1920, the season that Liverpool won the league, by the way, Leicester were actually ahead of Manchester City by like 5-6 points. Leicester City, I'm saying. They ended up finishing 5th. So we cannot sit up here and say stuff like that. Like, you have to include context. And if you're not good enough to win the league, which Jay himself will tell you they're not good enough to win the league, then you can't win it. So it's not a thing of like where you are right now, because once again, it's literally January.
I think as well, Sam, the one thing I would add to that is that it's not necessarily that we're not capable of winning the league. It is true, but it's more to do with the fact that we wouldn't be capable of the level of consistency required to win the league from this point versus the teams that we're up against. Do you know what I mean? The teams we're up against are just more capable of being more consistent than we are.
There's no sneaking into winning the league because of the other teams falling off, and I think that's the only hope that Tottenham Spurs can look at right now. But I also think you guys need to relax with the dismissal of Gary Neville, because last season, when Arsenal were flying with the league, he did come out and say, I see Manchester City winning. You guys didn't want to listen, and we won. He's now saying Spurs sees them finishing second. Maybe you might want to listen to Neville.
Listen, I'm trying to lower expectations here. Shh. Do you know what I mean? Like,
why do I lower expectations? That's Liverpool playbook, man. Stop it. Don't do that.
Oh, there you are, already sending shots. Okay, you want to go that down?
Let's get into Liverpool, because we've been waiting.
That was a transition, Husam.
You want to do that later?
It was a transition. That was alley-oop to Miguel.
By the way,
I'm sorry, I'm the underdog, having spent 1 billion less than you.
Honestly, I would rather Liverpool win than City if Arsenal can't win.
Yes, thank you.
Because I want somebody else to win this league.
As a matter of fact, put Vater bottom row next to these frauds right here. This Spurs.
Why?
On your on top of the league. That's why. Hold that.
There you go.
So I should be moved with Igal right now because I'm about him.
Yeah, you are, but that's not how we're doing the show. let's get to Liverpool. Liverpool have an opportunity to go 5 points clear once again. You play Bournemouth. Of course, no Mo Salah, currently no Trent. Do you believe Liverpool can sustain this even throughout this tough period where there's a lot of games coming quick? You have the League Cup, the FA Cup, and of course, the Europa League is going to be coming back very soon. Do you think you can manage this and still stay top of the league and potentially go on to win it, Husam? Or are you still thinking about what you were saying in the summer, where you're still leaving yourself short in the defense, in the midfield? What are you saying?
The answer to the question is no. We're not going to win the league. We're not going to sustain it. We haven't signed any player in January. I think our squad needs help right now. I don't think this same team can play 30 games from now until June, which adds up. We've already played 30, which adds up to almost 60 plus games. I don't think this squad has it in them. There's already too many injuries as things stand anyway. Like Trent, Robertson, Tsimikas, multiple players have been injured this season. Konate's been injured. Matip's out till the end of the season. Thiago, Bajcetic, Szoboszlai was injured. McAllister was injured for a while. Even Gravenberch was injured for a while. Our forwards, multiple forwards were injured as well, a couple of times here and there. So, no, I don't think we could sustain it. We're massive underdogs for this whole situation. The only thing I'd say is we should be on 0 defeats. The only reason why we have a loss is the VAR farce. But other than that, look, no, I don't think we can win the league as currently constructed, unless both City and Arsenal fall off. So yeah,
there you go. Let's hear what you guys have to say. Can Liverpool win the league, guys?
Listen, me hearing Hussam rattle off all of those injuries actually bodes in favor. Like if you had all of these injuries throughout the season and you're still top of the league, and obviously other players had to step up and show their mettle and show what they could do for Klopp, I think it bodes well when you have bodies back. I think it's going to come to a point where Klopp is going to have to choose what does he want, because they're in all competitions, but they're going to have to choose what they actually want this season. And I don't like to do the whole end of season prediction because a lot can change. Like Hussam said, teams can fall off, injuries can happen. But I like to look at, like let's say in form, like the five game block. And I'm going to be laser focused. Hussam's going to see me in the comments for the next 5 games because I'm going to be tuned into his channel because I want to see how they play against Bournemouth. And then 3 days later, I want to see them play Fulham. And 4 days later, I want to see whoever they play in the FA. And then 3 days later, they play Chelsea. I'm going to be tuned in. I'm going to get that analysis. I want to hear what he has to say. I want to see how these players perform without Salah and without Trent potentially. Because I think if they go through that and they're back, of course, they have a chance to win it.
What are you saying, Jay?
That's not his question, though. You're such a fraud. You're saying, yeah, have a chance to win it. Yeah, everyone thinks we have a chance to win it.
No, you said you're not winning it.
So you said I'm rattling off excuses, and then your conclusion is the same as my conclusion.
What? I'm backing my team. I'm always going to back my team.
It, right? Okay, no problem.
I'm always going to back my team. So, no, I'm not going to say that you're going to win it.
I'm not rattling off excuses then, because you just said the same stuff I said. Do we have what it takes, this squad, to compete on all 4 fronts? You said the same thing I said. You said Klopp has to choose.
Yes.
So I answered the question perfectly. I wasn't rattling off
Can you win the league if Klopp chooses to just win the league?
I mean, if he bins off Europa, which he will not do, then yes, but he'll not bin off Europa. Why do you exist in fantasy world? Look at reality already. Salah has played in the group stages. Van Dijk has played in the group stages. Alisson has played in the group stages. Trent has played in the group stages. So if he's taking it seriously in the group stages, why would he not take it seriously in the knockouts? Be real, Beta.
Aren't you happy that your team is still in all 4 competitions?
Of course I'm happy we're in all 4 competitions, but there's a difference between being happy. Vader just told you, from January 21st until February 4th, we have 5 games in 13 days. That's not normal for human consumption of any team, even City squad. That's too much football.
Pep's been saying there's too many games. Pep's been saying
that's too much football. So how are we supposed to do that? Premier League this Sunday against Bournemouth, and then we've got the Carabao Cup semi, and then we've got FA Cup, and then we've got Premier League, and then we've got Premier League again.
So the most honored, the most medal, the most trophied club in England, Hussam, which one do you want, Europa or the league?
Now you're going with the Hamza narrative.
No, I'm not doing any narratives. I'm just asking because you said there's going to be a choice. If we're up to you, you are manager of Liverpool. What are you winning?
If it were up to me, fuck the Europa League. If you want to go based on reality, Klopp is taking all of them seriously. Except FA Cup against Arsenal. He wanted to lose. He brought on Tom Little and Tom Little's cousin, but we ended up winning. So, yeah.
But guess what? Tom Little's cousin is now starting right back for you in the Premier League.
Yes, because we have a lot of injuries. And then Bater will say excuses.
I didn't say excuses.
Injuries. I named 15 injuries to an already small squad. That's not excuses.
You want to know something? In my fan base, everyone's talking about Klopp making those substitutions and saying that shows that you should trust your squad. And it's the difference between Arsenal.
Yeah. No, that's Hussam's spin. Hussam's spin is Klopp tried to lose it, whereas Klopp trusted his players to do a job. So
look at Man City. Oscar Bob came on, won them the game. And I
City produced different level academy players.
Let's talk about City for a second. City are back, and I don't think they went anywhere. To be honest, they just start the season slow like they always do.
Rodri FC.
Yeah, this guy, say that off camera.
No, but it's definitely Rodri FC. That's the fact. You guys lose Rodri, that's your biggest hole. But Kevin De Bruyne being back,
you lose even with KDB. Even with KDB there, if they don't have Rodri, they lose.
No, but the thing is, Kevin De Bruyne adds fear factor, bro. People are scared of KDB, bro.
Do you actually believe that?
Bro, I genuinely believe that because your manager said
did Newcastle lose the game or did City win it? Be honest.
City won it.
City won it.
I think Newcastle lost it.
Interesting. Tell me why.
No.
No, let him land. Let him land. Why?
You know why Newcastle lost it? Eddie Howe's toothless. Eddie Howe, first half, you watch first half. Just sit there after this game, no agendas, just watch first 45 minutes. It's like watching a Newcastle that you're like, whoa, where the fuck has this Newcastle been all season long? Second half starts, toothless manager. KDB ain't come on yet, so you can't even say fear factor. Toothless manager decides from the 45th minute mark to park the bus. If you watch their three midfielders, Longstaff, Bruno Guimaraes, and Miley were doing this together. They were just moving in. They were literally parked the shit out of the bus. They showed no offensive, not a single ounce of any offensive thing was created. And they decided to park the bus from the start of the 45th minute. Now, had they parked the bus when KDB come on, I'll say, yes, it's fear factor and blah, 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 all this buzzwords. I don't think it's fear factor or anything. He's just toothless and he bottled it. No. In the second half, watch the first 15 minutes. It's the most painful 15 minutes of football you can ever watch because Newcastle did not even try. And now, KDB comes on, he scores. Fantastic player. Alongside Salah, the two best players in the league over the last 5, 6, 7 years. Unbelievable consistency. Now, in KDB scores, it's 2-2. At least leave the game with a draw. And the reason why fatigue is not an excuse is because they didn't play a whole 1 week before that. So it's not an excuse.
Okay. This is let me first.
They did change the tactics, but Hussam, the reason why I don't agree with you is because Kevin De Bruyne came in, a team that was already creating chances. He scored the goal to get them the equalizer. He got the assist to get them the winner. And
yeah, but that's a Trippier mistake.
And every goal comes from somebody's mistake.
Oscar was offside.
What?
Oscar was offside until Trippier ran with him like a bozo. He would have been offside.
But guess what? Newcastle don't get back into that game if Kyle Walker isn't a stripper also. So
yes, Kyle Walker been stripping all year long. He's been worse defensively than Trent.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Okay, hold on. I gotta address.
Worst City captain in the last 5 years.
Fact.
You're throwing out too many things that I got to deal with.
No,
let me deal with this one thing first. Because all right, Hussam's been doing his thing, hustling, and I tune into his channel often because that's where I got to find him. I can't find him on where I used to catch him during the day. So he's got all this pent up, dare I say, football wars energy. So he's got to come out with certain narratives as he watches games and as he does his watch-alongs, right? Obviously, when scores happen, there's an error, typically. And he would talk about the reason why City won was because of what Howe did and how Newcastle chose to take the game. Listen, but at the same time, he would say if they didn't bunker down and try to defend the lead, that they should have done it, right? In hindsight, that they should have done it. Why did you leave yourselves open? But I'm going to point this out. Walker gave up the strong foot to both goals. Errors on our end. And before that, I really wouldn't have said Newcastle were that threatening. But I'm going to say this with regards to why we won this game. And let me, you know how I do my thing.
First 45 minutes, you don't think Newcastle were threatening?
No, they were threatening, but not enough to be like they should have won that game.
4 goals in the first half.
Nah, we could have scored as well. We left some goals on the pitch. But the reason why I had to change my background and what you see is me sitting on the throne is because I need to talk about King Kevin. I need to talk about King Kevin because had Newcastle tried to continue to play open football, I think they would have gotten even more exposed. I honestly do. I think they gave themselves the best chance, and most teams take that approach. Now, late in game, when we show a little fatigue, teams through the transition can catch us through the midfield. That's when other teams have had joy against us. Whether it's been Wolves, whether it's been Spurs. I think if you're attacking us late in games, I agree with what Hussam would say. But to want to bunker down and try to stop the bleeding a little bit, I think what Newcastle did made sense. But King Kevin deserves the praise. I'm sitting on this throne right now, and it's King Kevin's, but I'm borrowing it. He came back and he showed why he's that guy. And
is he even the best player in the Premier League? Because some people would make the case that Mo Salah is better than him.
What? Listen, he's the best player of the season. No. Let me finish. Don't interrupt.
No. But the way you said what, like he said Ben White is the best player. Don't be disrespectful.
See, you're stepping all over my work, and who sounds so disrespectful. I was just gonna say, let me say my what, let me react, and then I'll bring it back down. KDB's been injured. So this is why I would say Salah's been the best player this season. But like Hussam said earlier, the last 5 years, if I'm going to think about most consistency, I'm going to think about impact. I'm going to think about what they brought to their teams, how they've galvanized, and who spearheads the teams. It's been KDB and it's been Salah. So had it not been for KDB's injury, I would my what would have been a lot louder. But yeah, Salah deserves the praise this season. He's been there. KDB's been hurt.
These two right there.
The last 5 years, who's been the best player in the Premier League?
For me, Mo Salah, because of the consistency and the fact that City won a league when KDB was injured. So it shows you the impact. If Salah gets injured, it's a completely different story for us.
I'm saying KDB because of the man's impact, the fact that he was able to do his thing, the fact that he also tied your legend, Thierry Henry's assist record. KDB is that guy. And he, again, you guys want to talk about Rodri FC. Absolutely no one does what KDB does.
Are we not going to talk?
He is that guy. KDB is 100% that guy.
I think Mo Salah's goal scoring record outside the last 5 years.
7 years was not an insult. Me saying Mo Salah first and KDB second is not an insult at all. That's not an insult.
No, that's fine. And I would reverse the order because I would say KDB's been.
Yeah, and I wouldn't take that as an insult either. Being the second best player in the whole league over a 6-7 year period, that's not an insult.
Yeah.
I will never disrespect someone who says KDB. And I will never diss someone who says Mo Salah. These two have been, because the consistency over the last 6-7 years, the players have come and go. Sané, Sterling, this guy, that guy, Gundogan, blah, 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 blah. For us, Mane, this guy, that guy, Van Dijk. But the guy that has been consistent throughout is Mo. The guy who's been consistent throughout is KDB. So consistency is king. What's the difference between Michu and Harry Kane? Michu done it for 1 year and Harry Kane done it for 10. That's why people just say about, what do they call Michu? A player that the streets won't forget.
One season wonder.
Yeah, that's it. So.
Can I say one thing? I apologize to Liverpool and City fans for comparing my players that had one good season to your guys who've been doing this for 5 years plus. And I'll put my hand up for overhyping them slightly, but it's not like they're finished. They have a chance to bounce back. It's just they're not living up to the hype right now. When it comes to Jay, with that smile on your face, wipe it off for a second. Tell me who is the best player in the Premier League for the last 5 years before we move on.
And sorry, Jay, Igal, as I sit on this throne, I forgive you for your wrongdoings.
Okay, fair enough. And Hussam?
What? Forget? No, I listen. I don't mind Arsenal. I'm not an Arsenal hater. The Arsenal fans can be annoying sometimes, but we don't have a rivalry with Arsenal. When you're a big club like Liverpool, Vater that can't relate. When you're a big club, you don't have to force rivalries or create rivalries or manufacture rivalries. You have the clubs that you hate, which are Man United, Everton, and Chelsea to a smaller extent. But I just don't.
You fraud! Say my club's name right now because I've heard you say it on your show many, many times. You hate City.
I said City are fourth. I say City are fourth.
All right.
By the way,
I love the fact he just proved my point about manufacturing a rivalry.
People are telling me that.
Do you know I celebrated the Aguero goal more than you because it meant United would win?
More than me? Slap yourself. What do you mean? How are you going to celebrate it more than me?
I celebrated more than you. I was a young kid at the time and I celebrated the fuck out of that goal.
Bro, a lot of people celebrated City beating Liverpool to the league title.
Yeah. Please save football and stop Liverpool from winning the league.
Last year, people celebrated. I know Jay celebrated when you got when we came to your ground and we lost 3.
No, well, Igal, the thing is that you were so quick to assume prominence over Liverpool based off last season. You thought you were past them. You and then you got a stitch, and then you realized, okay, this running long distance thing is slightly harder than I thought. I can't keep the pace, and I appreciate that. But the thing is, now you need to deal with your own mortality, Igal. Yeah, because you're the man who put, was it 9 Arsenal players in a Real Madrid combined 11? That was you, unprompted, Igal. So when we talk about the heightened aspirations of Arsenal and we talk about whether Arsenal are losing the plot or whether or not they're off track, it's because of the expectations that you gave them. Because I expect these players to play for Real Madrid. I expect these players to be better than Vinicius. And there they are losing at home to West Ham What's going on?
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. First things first. I have been getting cooked every single time Real Madrid win any game.
Deservedly.
Bro,
Deservedly.
I done a call-in show and they mentioned it in the call-in show. They're like, this guy made the combined 11 with 9 Arsenal players.
I will do an apology video, but I don't think Real Madrid's player will ever see it. So we'll talk about that when it comes to it. Let's get back to
Gali, you know what I think is gonna happen? I think you might face Real Madrid in the quarters, and then you just have to be humble. You're gonna be humbled to the next level.
Look at
that would be crazy.
7-1 on aggregate or some shit like it's gonna be so bad.
I love it. Gal, you're squirming now. You're squirming when you hear Real Madrid.
Let's get past Porto first.
A month and a half ago, it was bring me anyone. Bring me anyone.
1 second. I need to get past Porto first, and if Bukayo Saka scores at the Bernabeu, I need that Jude Bellingham celebration.
Oh my god! What? Why they'll throw bananas at him? Don't try that in the Bernabeu.
I need Bukayo Saka to do that at the Bernabeu. But listen.
Listen. You want to see Rachel Abuse?
Doesn't mean I'm gonna win. It doesn't mean I'm going to win, but I would like to see it. Eventually, in order to win, you're going to have to face these good teams. So I'm not shying away.
Yeah, in the final, maybe.
Let's quickly just run off some of these topics before we go. Man City, I don't know if you guys know, a trial date has been set for Man City's hearing over their situation. Let's be honest, that's going to end up happening. We all know this.
We all know they're guilty as well.
We don't know that they're guilty.
You don't know.
No,
you want that.
No, we definitely
know. You want that. You hope that.
Yeah,
we don't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? We can say they're guilty in the court of public opinion, but until they're proven in court, we can't say they're officially guilty.
Later being fraudulent.
By the way, you missed the part where we were talking about Jordan Henderson, Hussam. Your boy Jordan Henderson wants to come back to.
Thank God I missed that part.
Vader said Liverpool fans should have more respect for him because the way Liverpool fans are talking about him, they're disrespecting him.
You should have.
He brought you every trophy.
You should have more respect for Cancelo because he was the best fullback in the world until he said "fuck you" to Pep. Suddenly he's crap.
He wasn't at my club as long as your captain was. He didn't bring me every trophy like your captain did.
Excuses. He was the best fullback in the world, right? Hold that.
He was at a moment the best, but he was not at the club as long as your Jordan Henderson, and he did not give me every trophy like your Jordan Henderson did. But hey, how we show loyalty to our players is different amongst our clubs.
We're quickly winding down, so we're going to move on to the next one quickly. Benzema. Does anybody see Benzema leaving and coming to the Premier League? Because there talks about Chelsea, there's talks about Man United on loan, Arsenal on loan. Personally, I just don't see Benzema leaving to come to Arsenal.
If Liverpool or City coming for him, yes, he should.
I could see like Benzema at like a City, but like there's a certain.
The other clubs know though. Why?
It's like sometimes you go some places, you go a nice place, and you might see like a Ferrari in like a really shitty place. Do you know what I mean? And it's like an old house, but there's a Ferrari out front. You can't stick Benzema in like Ansu Fati. Can't be putting Benzema in Brighton and asking him to press.
You can't see Benzema at Aston Villa.
No.
Oh, come on. Respect
they don't even need him. They don't even need him.
And this is where Mr. Vader.
You said they don't need him. No one needs him. Wow.
All right, listen. I love Watkins more than anybody. But there's not a world where you're saying they don't need him because Ollie Watkins plays for Aston Villa.
That's what I'm saying. They don't need him.
I'm just looking at Aston Villa and
you really think he'll come to Aston Villa, you guys? Like
no, of course not.
For 6 months.
I think
I don't even think he'd come to Arsenal for 6 months.
I think the only clubs that would actually pull the trigger on that are the Chelseas and the Manchester Uniteds because they spend ridiculous money.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the cities, they spend ridiculous money.
We spend responsibly.
Benzema for 6 months at Man United could cook.
We've got Alvarez and Holland. We ain't buying Benzema.
By the way, did you guys see Ivan Toney's interview today? He had an interview with Sky Sports. He had an interview with Sky Sports where he said, I don't want to misquote him, but he said, it's obvious that I want to play for top clubs. And if was to pay the right money, then who knows? Brentford striker basically speaking about his future at the club, and he's basically saying that he's here, but of course he just wants his big move.
Yeah, he's a phone call away.
Some people are saying it's elite mentality, which I would say. Some people are saying he hates Brentford, and that's not the kind of loyalty you show to a club that stuck by you while you're going through a whole ban.
Nah, that's harsh because he actually showed loyalty to Brentford as he spoke about them supporting him during his whatever hiatus or suspension. So, nah, I don't think it comes across that way. He's just being a professional. Listen, if a bigger club comes for me and the money's right, I'm moving. We would honor that of any player. No disrespect to Brentford.
There's two questions in my opinion. One, do you guys care about these interviews? Do you think this is nothing, just people get mad over words?
I like the interviews.
I do think it's cheeky. I think it's cheap. I mean, like you've been out suspended from your own wrongdoing, and the very first interview you're giving, you can't even give a let's see how I perform. Let's see at the end of the season. We'll see if the bids come in. It's a I'm out of there. Do you know what I mean? Speedy Gonzalez running it back. Meet. Like that's, to me, that shows to some people he's a winner. He wants to, and he's driven.
The game was taken away from him. I know he made the mistake, but it was taken away from him. He's like, listen, I want in. I want to play for a big club.
Hey, listen, I see it from both sides. Me personally, would I want him to come into the Spurs dressing room? Like we're
literally my editor. You bozo.
Yeah. We're a kumbaya, type team. Like put him in the Arsenal dressing room. I'd be curious to see. I don't think he's like him.
Arsenal.
I think he would kill it at Arsenal. I think he'd be the perfect.
Put up top of the league comments, please. Just put top of the league comment. Top of the league.
I like him as a player. I don't know enough about.
I'm responding.
His personality apart from the fact he just keeps saying fuck Brentford.
Go ahead.
No, hold on. But all I want to say is I do have to run because I got to scoop up. I got to scoop up my kids. So whatever is said right now, I will address it in the comments or post. But I do have to run. You got
address it in the comments. Big up to you, Vader.
It's always a pleasure.
Big up. Vader links his channels in the description. Go ahead.
Top of the league. First of all, number one, you're not top of the league. Number two, the trophies argument is the dumbest fucking argument in 2024 to say a player is better than a player. I'll tell you why. Michael Carrick is better than Kevin De Bruyne. Put up Kevin De Bruyne and Michael Carrick's trophies and let's talk. Paul Scholes is better than Kevin De Bruyne. Put up the trophies and let's talk. Using trophies arguments is weak. Obviously, Mo Salah over the last 5, 6, 7 years have been consistent, not injured, always available, won 3 golden boots, won 2 playmaker awards. You have to look at what the guys individually done. So if I use the stack up trophies argument, why don't you argue that John Stones or Ruben Diaz or any of the others have been the best player in the league then? Because they've been fit for the last 5, 6 years. Why isn't Ederson the best player? He's been there every single year. Why isn't Foden been the best player? Because he's been there every single year and he's won all those trophies. So when I get asked who's a better individual over 6, 7 years, it's not a matter of lump trophies together. Because guess what? This is going to upset you even more. You know who's the third best alongside KDB and Mo Salah? Harry Kane. You know how many trophies he won? 0. So no one gives a fuck. It's not just a trophies fucking dick measuring contest. That's all.
I hear it. I think that there needs to sometimes be a trophy though. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in, like for Kane, it's like same thing with like someone like a Moussa Dembele, like in terms of how good he was, but he won nothing. And I think that's the stick that Gerrard gets beaten with when we talk about Prem all-time greats, because he didn't get a Premier League, and despite being one of the best players. So I agree. Like, having seen Kane play for Spurs, it's been one of the most difficult arguments I've had to have over the last few years when people have constantly been comparing him, and now he goes to Bayern Munich and all of a sudden he's the best striker in the world when he's literally the same person he was 6 months ago.
Yeah, but I was calling him best striker in the world even last season. So I'm being consistent.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So if I tell you the 3 best players in the league over the last 5, 6, 7 years were Salah, KDB, and Harry Kane, it's not a thing of like who won the most trophies, because then I'll just put Trent over Kane. I'll put anyone, Firmino over Kane then, if it's a trophy thing. It's not just trophies, it's how the individual performed. Harry Kane's now gone to Bayern Munich. They ain't even won anything yet. They're probably going to win the Bundesliga. Probably they're going to win it.
They could
lose, because they're probably going to win it. Suddenly Harry Kane's world class. Yeah, but he's been doing this shit at Spurs anyway. I will never compare to individuals ever using trophies, because I think people are in different contexts, different everything. You guys wanted Harry Kane. 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Had you bought
Mhm.
Harry Kane, you're telling me Kane wouldn't have at least 2 prems, at least? 2, 3?
Oh, at
Come on,
least,
Come on,
yeah.
man. Exactly.
All right, let's wrap it up with two main talking points. Hussam, what do you think is going to happen against Bournemouth? What's your score prediction?
It'll be
Are
a
you looking
close
forward to
game.
this? Are you looking forward to this game? 'Cause this game looks tight to me. It looks like a hard game. for
Bournemouth been
Liverpool.
very good. We have to give Iraola, I think his name is, massive credit because he's done really well this season. Came in after Gary O'Neill, who also is doing very well at Wolves. This is going to be a close game. This is not just a game where, like, we just get an easy win, an easy game, easy fixture. It's not easy. No Premier League game is easy in 2024. So, yeah, I think Liverpool win 2-1. Going to be a close game, probably concede one, and then just have a nice little comeback.
All right, what are you saying, Jay?
I think it's a hard game. Like when Spurs played Bournemouth, I always use my team as a barometer of how I feel, like how good I think a team is. I don't like to just talk about teams in isolation. And I was like, this is a horrible matchup. And they played like they were unlucky, like in moments to not be in front or level, or they're a good side. They're the sort of side that you don't want to play with first teamers missing away from home. Right? It's not a good game. It's not a good matchup. So I think Liverpool could drop points here. I genuinely do. I think that the performance in the first half against Arsenal was a little worrying. Like they sorted it the hell out in the second half, and they were the better side in the second. But the first half was a little bit like, to me, I was like, if they'd been 2-0 down, they could have had absolutely zero complaints.
What's your score prediction?
I'm gonna go 2-2.
I think Liverpool still smashed them, even without Mo Salah and everything. They probably beat them 3-1 or something. It's not a beat down, but 3-1 is. I think I think you can see it though. But let's go to Arsenal Crystal Palace. This is if I told you guys after the Fulham game meltdowns, you've seen it. After the Liverpool game meltdowns, you've seen it. If we lose to Crystal Palace, pack up the whole season.
Can Palace even score? I'm just gonna keep going, you guys. I'm just gonna see what Palace is.
I have not watched a Crystal Palace game recently.
Palace, by the way, Palace and Fulham, those two teams have been extremely weird. Yeah. Like Palace lost to Luton and then drew with City.
I didn't even know that Everton and Palace
are playing Everton right now.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking. I was like, they're playing right now.
In what competition?
In the FA Cup. Bro, they have all their starters playing. Fairs. Bro, listen, if we don't beat forget Everton, if we don't beat Crystal Palace, honestly, we don't deserve to be even in
I think Arsenal will win the game, but it's going to be close. 1-0 to Arsenal. That's what I think.
Yeah, we got to win. And the thing is, not only do we need to win, Hussam, we need to see a convincing offensive performance.
Because wow, Everton have literally just scored.
Yeah, because of how poor our offense has been over the last couple of weeks. If we smash Crystal Palace like 3-0, that might kind of put water over some of the fire that's going on at Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Palace team, and because obviously Elise is injured, and this team, can this team even score a goal without Elise?
Oh, you could say the same thing about Arsenal, but I'm gonna go with. We need a 3-0 Arsenal victory. Just smash them and just keep it moving. That's
like 1-0 Arsenal. That's what I'm
going. 1-0. Oh man, yes. I hope we score more than one goal because that would be a painful one.
I can see it 1-0 as well for some. Like they score.
Palace are good defensive.
Score another. They don't. Then the last 10 minutes is really nervy kind of vibe. Yeah, I feel that.
Who's up? Palace lost 2-1 to Chelsea, bro. I mean, they lost to Chelsea 2-1. Yes, they drew against
Man City. 2-2 with Manchester City, and it took a Harvey Elliott winner for us to beat them. Yeah. Palace and Fulham this season have had results that make no sense. Fulham beat West Ham 5-0, and then they drew to Sheffield. Same thing with Crystal Palace. So. Yeah, so just like, look, it's just some teams make no sense, and Crystal Palace is one of them. Sometimes they drop to the occasion, sometimes they rise to the occasion. So yeah. I'm just going 1-0 to Arsenal. That's it.
I'm going to go 3-0, but more what I need and less of what I think is going to happen. What you saying, Jay?
Yeah, probably. I'll give you an extra goal. I'll go 2 now. I'll say like you withstand the attack and then you go down the other end. But I'm interested in Arsenal's solutions. Like for me, I'm more curious in what the team going forward looks like and how confident you guys are. What are your games after this, you guys? Sorry, because obviously this is
I just want to respond to this message. It's
Go on.
too early in the season to be not looking at performances. What are we talking about? It's not the last 5 games.
Oh no, now performances matter. You have to perform.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to show good performances because it's not you can't sustain that later in the season.
Performances don't matter first 5 games and last 5 games. If you get the points, it doesn't matter. But other than that, you need to
Okay. You Arsenal, that's not a nice run for you in the next 3 games, is it, Igor?
What, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, and who's the other one? Nottingham Forest.
You got Forest away and West Ham away.
I'm not too worried. I just need
That's
I just need 1 win under my belt first.
Look at Jay. Look at Jay.
I'm just focused on the next game. I'm just focused on the next game.
I had this theory about Arsenal that away versus the top 10 teams, yeah, like can these guys get it done? Like even once, can they win once at the top 10 away? And I don't think they have yet.
Excuse me?
Have you won an away game against the top 10 side in the Premier League this season?
Let's see. I'm pretty sure we haven't played Manchester United away. We haven't played Brighton away. We drew against Chelsea. We lost to Newcastle. So at this moment in time, no.
There you go.
I think that's just one of those stats though that's not really relevant at this moment in time because you could point.
I mean, you probably played like 5 or 6 of them away, so it's not relevant, but like it still happened.
Did Liverpool beat? Did you beat Chelsea away?
No, they drew.
Nope.
Did you beat Brighton away?
I don't think they played them.
Drew.
Manchester United away?
Haven't played them.
Haven't played them yet.
West Ham away?
No, we beat West Ham at home.
You never played us away. Aston Villa away?
Haven't played them yet. Beat them at home 3-0.
Newcastle away is what you're looking for.
Newcastle away, we won.
That's the only game. So
hey, but they've won one, haven't they, Igor?
But guess what? Newcastle right now.
But the rest of them we ain't played away. Arsenal
exactly. Arsenal are playing these away games and not winning them.
No, but you could if you replace Newcastle
was theft. Even Jay would say that.
If Newcastle lose their next game and Wolves win their next game,
okay. How about this?
Arsenal beat Wolves.
Okay.
I'm just trying to show you that stat.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But so you did beat City.
Yeah.
And you beat United at home.
No,
so
we beat them at home.
You beat Brighton as well. So you've got some decent home results. It's just the away ones.
Let's wrap it up here, guys. Honestly, big up Hussam for jumping on, man. I really do appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, Hussam. It's nice seeing you again. I hope you
likewise.
brother.
And big up Jay for jumping on also. And of course, Vader. This has been a short edition of Vibes from the Six. We'll catch you guys Sunday, hopefully, after all the games. And of course, Monday on Hussam's channel. If you guys don't already know, A-List is a banging show right there. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have yourselves a wonderful day. And of course, if you haven't already done so, check out SOFASCORE. This is the channel sponsor. And of course, the only place you need to check all your live scores, standings, player ratings, everything else. And I'm out of here, people. Peace.